What's up, guys? Or ladies and gentlemen, I should say. On my way to Target, gotta do some shopping. I want to talk about something. I don't know if I've talked about this before in the past. But yeah, I'll hit a couple topics in the video, but holidays are hard for people, for certain subsets of people like myself. Holidays are very hard. I've got a very supportive wife that I take advantage of. I forget. She does so much for me. She's gone a lot at work and stuff, and I'm very lucky and blessed to have her. But suffering from borderline personality disorder and complex PTSD, a lot of the times I put on my best face for my business, but then I take out the built up fear and anxiety that I accumulate through the day. I will take that out on her, and being very snappy and irritable, and it's not much of a pleasure to be around. And she stuck through me for many years, and and that ties back into medication too. I know quite a few people that I talk to on a regular basis that had family members that were, and I talk about my grandfather. He's like one of the biggest that I've ever seen. Cause see, I wasn't always like this, the chronic pain for years that really changed me a lot. But my grandfather was a complete and utter asshole. I mean, excuse my language. He was just not a pleasant person to be around, and he was in the Navy, and he must have probably dealt with a lot of crap at work or whatever. He would take that out on family, a lot out on me, because I was very vulnerable. But he's very snappy, short-tempered, irritable, and I'm very much like he was. And we're not biologically related. He's actually my step-grandfather, but the only grandfather I ever had at the same time. And see, my dad just sent me something, and I don't talk to my dad. How would your life be different if you stopped allowing other people to dilute or poison your day with their words or opinions? Let today be the day you stand strong in the truth of your beauty and journey through your day without attachment to the validation of others. I don't really have a relationship with my dad, so every now and then I get a Facebook message or something about God and stuff like that. Anyway, maybe that'll help somebody. But anyway, so yeah, my grandfather, he was very mean, very verbally abusive to my grandmother. There's things he's the accumulation of I feel like psychological abuse that I endured from him growing up can never be atoned for. And he's not a guy that would ever even ask for forgiveness or admit that he was wrong. And at the time, as much as I hated him, now I I I understand him. I didn't ever want to see him or be around him for the rest of my life, but I ended up changing and being, well, I ended up going to see him because everyone said he changed. When he retired, he ended up finally going to see a counselor and going to see a psychiatrist, and he got put on several medications. And if you want to talk about a transformation, I mean, I'm talking a guy who had spent 4 or 5 decades, I mean, I don't know, I mean, or at least as long as I know him, like not 20 years and before, he was just a complete asshole. So snappy, always yelling at people. I mean, anyway, you get the point. Calm, focused, he had energy. He has more energy than me. He does so much now in life, and he travels, and he's double my age. And it just goes to show you the power of how powerful medications can be. And people like me who get all hung up on meds and fear of meds, and really that stress is just another stress that ultimately just shouldn't be there. But anyway, this isn't a medication. This wasn't supposed to be a medication, tribute or anything like that, but what I wanted to do was talk about how hard it is for people that are suffering from CFS or chronic pain or anxiety, agoraphobia, all these things that derealization, just who suffer day to day, just to tell you that you're not alone. And 2 things about my wife. It's hard for me because she's had to limit her life experience because of me, but she knows the real me when we met, right? She knows the me that was outgoing and courageous, and she sees that there's still that I'm still there, but I'm very much clouded by this, what has happened to me and so forth. And but it's hard for her too to be more of an, she's a normal functioning person, but to have to deal with what I deal with, and for me to have to try to let go a little bit and let her do some things that ultimately are hard, to know that my wife's out there having fun with a friend, or out there doing something that I can't do, whether it's bowling or just something that if I'm not able to do it. But there's that fear that she'll get a taste of that good life that I can't provide right now, and that she'll leave me, or the fear that I have that constant fear that I'm inadequate, and almost sometimes if I were single that things would be better. And I know people are gonna chime in, oh no, I'm single and it sucks, you're lucky. I am, I'm not. But there's a lot of pressure when you're sick, and you have this pressure to be better now. In burnout recovery, which is more of what my channel is going to be surrounding in the future, burnout recovery takes time, and people like me are impatient. We don't want to wait. So that time, anyway, so, but, just, it's bad enough, when you lose a loved one, the patriarch of the family, that my grandma, so the holidays are bad enough, even if I were healthy, so the family, the regular people, have a hard time during the holidays just because of my grandma passing. This is the second bout of holidays that we will have gone without her. In physical form, and that's hard. But even so, beyond that, it's hard to recognize that you know, for people that are dealing with these things, how alone we feel. You know, everyone's out there celebrating and buying Halloween stuff, and you know, last year Halloween was really hard. I was really not understanding what was going on to me. I was entering into this complete burnout, and my wife wanted to go, you know, to do some things, and I couldn't even go to Target. Like, I felt so spaced out, like out of my mind, guys. I was so foggy and spaced out of my skull that, man, it's like I couldn't even read at the time and stuff. And I've recovered a bit from that, but overall it's been very tough. And I'm here now, and I'm gonna go in and get my stuff, and then I'll re-record a second video, but since I'll stop it, you know, I'm gonna lose it. So this will be a part 1, and I'll be back.